the early Enlister edition, even longer if you include all of the Origin access time that people have played. I think that's a good amount of time to get a grip on what I love and things that I don't love so much with the game. Perhaps you agree with me, perhaps you don't, but I thought it'd be interesting to put this stuff out there either way based off my experiences so far. Let me start by tackling the menu user interface. I'm a little bit torn on this because I understand how much work will have gone into creating an entirely new system to essentially replace a lot of the functionality that we previously had with Battlelog, of course now accompanied by the companion app for stats and things like that. Visually, I like the way the UI looks and I think it runs pretty smooth, but I don't think you can just brush over the fact that it's missing some key features and, well, quite simply put, it doesn't always work, especially on PC. Joining on friends can be a really frustrating experience. Sometimes they don't show up when they're clearly online, other times there's no join button, but if you use the actual Origin overlay you can join them that way instead, but that's buggy in itself. So that definitely points to some sort of UI discrepancy. I don't know if the console players are having these problems too, I imagine not, but do let me know if you are, but it's stuff like this and not being able to even see what server someone's playing on, which I think is like a really basic feature, and it's something that of course we had with Battlelog. The party system is also a little bit up and down. Joining a party is easy enough and it gives you a little notification if a game is found for you to join, but again, I find that quite often invites simply don't work, or my friends just aren't appearing in the list to invite at all. Then we've got the most annoying thing, that message that pops up when you're in a game to tell you that a party member has joined the game, and this has got me killed numerous times because you have to click it to take it away. It's just a massive pop-up box that asks you if you want to join their game and you've got to click yes or no. What's even more frustrating is that if you're in the process of deploying or standing up from a revive, anything that involves spacebar basically, you can often accidentally press it without realizing or without intending to and get moved to another server, which is very frustrating. Instead of this, a simpler solution could be just a small notification message at the top of the screen saying a friend is joining a server, press F1 to join with them or something along those lines. Having a pop-up message right in the middle of your screen, massive, that constantly interrupts whatever you're doing in game, just isn't really a great solution. Couple that with the fact that any friend can join your party, because unless I've missed it, there are no privacy options to make it friends only, and you've got a bigger issue there because it means that any friend could join your party and switch servers, causing a message to pop up. I think the actual in-game UI is pretty good, but some things in the menu, customization and party system definitely need a tweak just to make them flow better and be a bit more intuitive, especially on PC. So moving on to a bit of gameplay now, behemoths are also a big debate when it comes to Battlefield 1, and I do think that they need some tweaks for sure, mainly the airship. The guns on the airship are just really accurate, insanely so that maybe they need to be looked at a little bit, and really annoying in operations. There's some instances where in some sections, if the attacking team starts with a behemoth, there aren't any anti-air cannons to try and take it out, or there's very few, and it just feels like on those situations, like let's say the first set of points on Ballroom Blitz, when they get that behemoth, you just have to let them take it really. I don't know whether that's the intention or not, but you can either die over and over again or just fall back and let them have those first 2 points where there's AA guns further back. It's not really very good design if you ask me. I also feel that if you're attacking on operations and you get the last set of points and fail, should you really get the behemoth for the last 2 points? It doesn't really give the defending team much chance to take it out at all. If you could argue that with 3 battalions to attack a point, do you need a behemoth on both the second and third attempt? Assuming you fail, wouldn't just the last try be a bit better and fairer? And when it comes to operations, I think some changes could be made there as well. I'd kind of like it that when you finished an operation, it would just restart the same operation again, or a box pops up and says, hey, do you want to queue for another operation now? Please select one here. Or if there was a playlist that just went and cycled through them all, that would be pretty neat, because it can be annoying if an operation ends pretty fast and then you've got to go back to the menu, load up another one, sort out the party system, and potentially wait for players to filter in and start again. And also with operations, I feel like I'm always on the defending team, and it's actually very rare that I get to attack. I don't know whether that's just the matchmaker screwing me over or whatever, but I've definitely played most of my games on defense rather than attack, and often than not, defending can be really, really boring, especially if you're playing against a bad, uncoordinated team. Now, when it comes to the actual core gameplay, as I've said in the past, I honestly think it's really good. I have a ton of fun. I know that snipers are easy to use and scouts are, well, they're everywhere, but I feel as though in this final build, assault players and medics both have viable weapons to use and are both really good. The Hellriegel, for example, for the assault and the medic class has numerous weapons that can be good up close. Just check out the auto-loading extended. But I do still hear people saying that tanks are overpowered, but honestly, I think tanks in BF1 are the most vulnerable that they've ever been. If you've got a few assault players focusing on a tank, they can take it down very easily, assuming that they're smart. I've soloed many light tanks using my rocket gun from a distance and then my anti-tank grenades from behind cover. It's really not a big problem. But when it comes to the support class, I think it definitely needs looking into. There are a few guns in there that I think are okay, but the problem is I don't have a desire to play support because the weapons on the other classes are just way more effective and also enjoyable. So there's definitely some need to tweak the support class. The support's best weapon is the mortar, and if I play support, I'm barely shooting anyone. I just deploy the mortar, fire my 5 shots, wait for it to recharge, and it's really easy to get kills that way and push towards an objective. That's obviously a big problem because the mortar is too good, it's too accurate, it recharges too quickly, and I find that most of the support class weapons are just really underwhelming. Then we get onto grenades. I find grenades to be a bit odd, honestly. Often it feels as though they're doing damage even through surfaces, and I've not even got onto gas grenades yet. I like the idea of gas grenades being in the game because gas was a massive part of World War I, and in terms of gameplay in BF1, you throw them down in an area and then it forces players to either move, so you can use it for area denial or control, or if you want to get someone out of a building and then they've got to decide, hey, do I want to stay in here and put my gas mask on, or do I just want to get out of dodge, and then the person that's throwing the gas grenades can go in and take that flag or building, whatever it is. But in reality right now, gas is just thrown everywhere over levels and it gets, well, a bit too much. Players have 2 gas grenades available to them, and to be honest, I think that could easily be reduced to 1, and that would make the situation much better to begin with. Also, gas seems to leak through surfaces, which I think definitely needs addressing. Say you're in a house on St. Quentin Scar at the D flag, you throw a gas grenade in the top room and you wait in the bottom room. If you stand underneath where you threw it, you can actually die from your own gas. Not ideal. Sure, it's gas, and I think, to be fair, it should permeate through windows and downstairs or maybe through wooden doors, but I don't think it should also go through solid surfaces like it currently does. There are some bugs too, of course, but you have to expect a few small bugs when it comes to a game like this. I've clicked to spawn in a plane and been left falling through the sky as a pilot with no plane in the out of bounds zone. Not ideal. Same things happened with the tanker and horse classes as well. Also, when you get revived, you sometimes get a bug where you can't shoot and your weapon starts freaking out, but it can easily be solved by just switching weapons. There are other bugs in the game, but they don't really take away from the experience enough to be critical of them. I'm sure they'll get patched up. One thing I'd really like though is to be able to change my loadouts in the main menu without being in a game, and I do think that will come at some point though. I also think auto balance needs looking at. Right now, because of the new server system, the positives are obvious. You can get into games very quickly and it's vanilla rules and it's always the same consistent experience, but auto balance plugins are now a thing of the past, so we're relying on the built-in version that DICE have implemented to do its job. And well, right now I don't think it is. Not always. I've been in games where it's been 25 players against 14 and the game just hasn't bothered to balance the teams even after an entire round, and unless people decide to take it upon themselves to actually change teams, it can be a really frustrating experience for the players on the losing team. Maybe this is something to do with the party system and the squad system trying to keep players and friends together, I'm not sure, but it just isn't working fast enough, or like I said, it's taken into account entire squads and perhaps can't find a match. I'm not sure, but regardless, it definitely needs a few tweaks and updates. Finally, private servers and kickban functionality, we need those as soon as possible. DICE, please. And that's all for today, guys. Let me know if you think you've had a similar experience to me, or maybe a better or worse experience. Like I said, this is based on the PC version of the game. I haven't had a chance to play it on console yet, so I don't know what the situation's like over there. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.